Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is going through a investment that I plan on putting 31 million coins in across all of my accounts. Now, next week we have got the pre-team of the season promo. And pre-team of the season promo is basically a promo where we're going to go and get brand new upgrade packs every day, if not every other day. And there's a really awkward thing about it, and that is that it normally starts on the Friday, which means you normally get good SBCs as of the Friday, which would normally rise fodder as of the Friday. But fodder at the moment is basically quite inflated. I can go for a few players right here as an example. You've got, for example, Arthur, who is up from, I guess a normal 1.3k to 2k at the moment. We can go to someone like a Navas, who's another really good bit of fodder. If we can go and grab him right here, we can go there. Navas at the moment, who is up from 4.6k and he's up to 6.8k at the moment, and he's really good fodder. And then we'll go over to Canales, and again Canales is going to be the exact same situation in terms he's up from 2k to 3.3, so basically you'd be buying on about a 50% increase. Now the problem at the moment, the problem with that is obviously if you're buying stuff inflated, you're increasing the risk. But there's basically two sides. You've got one, that the SBCs are going to be coming on Friday, and as a result there is going to be zero room between, them being needed for the current SBCs, and then boom, straight into all of these new upgrade packs. And then obviously you've got two that they normally drop on a Friday, if we can show you right here. There we go, peaks on the Wednesday, drops on the Thursday, drops on the Friday, and then even through to the Saturday, and then rises again. We can see this trend happen here. Wednesday, drops on the Thursday, drops on the Friday. So we're basically in a really, really awkward position where it's like, you either invest and gamble on stuff being on a Friday, or you don't invest and you gamble on the normal trend happening. The problem is the normal trend happening with pre-team of the year, if we look at the pre-team of the year content, is it drops the content on Friday. So basically we're at a really, you basically gamble on one thing or another. I've kind of found a way around this, because basically what I want to do is just kind of show I want to put the 31 million coins into 83s, because I feel like they're going to be the most versatile for all of these brand new packs that have been added. So if you haven't seen, there's basically these new 8 packs that have been added, saying containing gold rares from the Liga, and basically 15 gold rares from the Liga that are 75 plus. We've also got packs containing 11 rare golds that are 81 plus from the Bundesliga. We've also got packs including 5 85 pluses from the top 5 leagues. Basically, we've got loads of brand new packs, and as a result, these should be dropping tomorrow. Dropping as of Friday with the new pre-team of the season promo. Now, when I look at these, it's a bit weird because they could go very, very cheap, as in like just 11 rare golds, 3 from the league, and maybe. But at the same time, they could just go for your cliche 82 rated, 1 in form, 83 rated, no chemistry. So so we're in a bit of an awkward position because obviously they could, depending on how repeatable these packs are, depends on what the requirements could be. And likewise, it also depends if we'll get them from the Friday, or maybe if they'll drop them once on the Monday, once on the Tuesday. So you guys have seen the SBCs that I'm investing for. Now what I'm going to do is show you the stuff that I think is a little bit less risk-free. Because again, the 82s and 83s, the 83s and 84s are still pretty risky. But there's a lot of 82s, and there's basically something I've used to decide what 82s I go into. So if you guys remember, at the beginning of March and the end of February, we only got that Silver Stars promo, right? Silver Stars promo, no packs were being opened, but there are lots of SBCs needing fodder. So we can go back to here. There you go. See the end of Feb, beginning of March. And what this does is this shows us players that rise as a result of there not being much fodder on the market and there not being much supply of that fodder on the market. So for example, Berardi went from 1.2 to 2.3 because again there weren't many packs being opened, but there were SBCs is being demanded for. We can also look at the pre-team of the year, which is early January, so then I can go and see that when we had pre-team of the year, and once again, a time when no one was opening packs but SBCs were being done, Berardi went from 1k and he went even all the way up here to 2.7 on Xbox. And you can see that these players aren't, on PlayStation, on Xbox, they're not amazing, but on PlayStation they're not looking too bad. Bear in mind he went up to like 1.7 this time, and that time he went up to 1.8. Picking them up for like 900 coins, which would be super simple to do, isn't too bad of a feat, especially compared to if you go and compare the 83s. So what I've done is I've basically gone and compiled a list of 82s that are still cheap, that I can invest in. Again, I do plan of investing a bit more maybe later in the day, where they do become a bit cheaper, if not maybe even Friday morning. But the list of 82s that I scouted out yesterday as a good investment on players that are still cheap but did well. Now, So I showed you Berardi, so I'll show you a few other 82s we've got and found. And one of those is Tagliafico, went up here to 5k. And there you go, even 4.5. Again, not in packs for anything there. We then go to the beginning of January, and once again, he still even hit 2k here and 1.8k. So if you can get him for some nice low prices, around about a k, that would be looking good. Then move to another 82 did well, and that is Rakitic. So again, we can go and show you Rakitic on those two rises. Second rise here, went and hit as high as 2.5k and even 3k there. And we go look at January, and he's gone and hit 2k. So once again, if you can go and win him for a k, and then to go and sell him for 2k plus, that would be a decent turnover. Bauman, once again, worked really, really well. You can go back here to the beginning of March, hit 3k on PlayStation, even 1.8 on Xbox if you can get him cheap. And then we can go back to January and again him hitting 2.2 and 1.8. So you'll see a common theme is a lot of the non-rares did very, very well. A lot of the non-rares and then rares in positions where there are a lack of players. We can go look at Hazard and Rice. Both of these players work very well. And then I'll stop showing you, and hopefully you guys just get the point that we know we're looking and talking for. We got ourselves Hazard here at 2.8 and then 2.2 there. And then back in January, I don't think it was too amazing. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think... He didn't actually work in January. Oh, no, he did. No, barely. 1.3. Then we go to Declan Rice as the last player we'll show as an example, and then I'll just give you a list of players. There we go, hitting as high as 2.5, and then we look at the January rise, and he did go up nicely there to 1.7 and 1.9 over on Xbox. Obviously, you're not going to go and buy for 2.4 because that would be insanely expensive. So the 82s that are still cheap, that wouldn't be too bad to go with, are the players I've shown you so far. Adel Trapp, I wouldn't go long lay from what I've checked. Fabian Ruiz is good, Cal Logru is good, Isco is good. Wouldn't go the goalkeepers. Madison is good, Grimaldo is good, Raul Albiol is good, Locatelli is good, Duron is good, which is a bit of a weird one. Tellez is good on that page as well. Dumfries is good, Nathores is good, De Paul is good, Campanara is good. Who else? Romagnoli is good. Daily Blind did really well as well. Saul did very well. And then we're getting to the 82s that are just way too expensive unless they can have a bit of a drop. So those are the players that I've kind of scouted out right now that even though FODDER is quite nicely inflated, they actually look really good value for money if you look at the last two times that we had no packs being opened, yet SBCs being demanded. The second sort of investment you can go for is basically looking at the discard 83s. Because some of the discard 83s did pretty well in those time frames as well. I mean, Zapata 1.6k isn't amazing right here. But then we go look at the January rise, and we can see he went up here to 2.4k. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go and find some of the discard 83s that yeah, I say basically had some of the best rises for players that even us, sitting at a K or under for 83s. Again, this could literally be the more favourable investment if the SBCs come out and they just want 40 chem, 30 chem, but they want that 83 rating. So the first player we get to is Quates. Quates is slightly better than the discard 83s. A lot of discard 83s went up to like 2.2k here. He went up to 2.4k. He also held his price better this following day. Then we go look at March, and he went up to 1.9k when a lot of the other guys only went up to about 1.5, 1.6. So the first 83 discard you can go with is Quates for about a k on all consoles. So we're slightly above discard, but it's really a case of beggars cannot be choosers, and that is Asensio. Asensio went up here to 2.8k with the other SBCs when the other players only went up to 1.6. Didn't do too amazingly here because again a lot of them were hitting 2.2, 2.3 and he only hit 2.5. But yeah, for the most recent rise, due to the Silver Stars being in packs and non-opening packs, we do have a nice 2.8k rise here. So 1.4, 1.6 is not too bad on the likes of Marco Asensio. And potentially due to people playing him down in the cam, Mkhitaryan did very, very well for someone again who is discard. We go back to the March rise and he went up here to 2.6. Again, we showed you someone like Zapata, who's practically the same price and almost the same position, but not quite the same utility in terms of can be played in cam. But yeah, Mkhitaryan went up here to 2.6 when the others only went up to 1.5. Then we go to the January rise and he went up here to 2.7 when again the others went up to 2.5, 2.6. So consistently showing that he's slightly better than the discard 83s, yet practically seeing at the discard price is Henrik Mkhitaryan. Another Serie A striker, we got Morata. Pretty sure he's half carried via the Spanish links rather than, because obviously he offers the same utility as Zapata, but he's got the Spanish links. But yep, slightly better rise when on the January rise, so the pre-team of the year. And then a nice rise here at 2.3. Not as good as Mkhitaryan, but just adds another player to your roster. For Weghorst, we're obviously going to have to look at his old Wolfsburg card, but it should basically copy the same trends as the Prem, as a high-rated non-rare out of packs. We go back to the February, March, and I presume this might have been actually when it was going out of packs. Let's have a little look. This card when it came out on the 2nd of March, yeah. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to look up until the 2nd of March. How was he doing? It's a bit of a hard one though, because obviously there was hype of him going out of packs. So yeah, I mean, it was up at 3.2, 2.5. We can see, again, this could be because there was hype about him going out of packs, but he was still doing very, very well during that week. We can go back to this January week though, but there we go, up to 2.7. But what was quite nice about this guy is he held a higher price more than others. Others only peaked for about 1-2 days, whereas this guy was higher for about 3-4. And again, probably due to overall rarity. But there we go, you got the likes of Veghorst that I would back my bets against for about 1.3. We then get to Lamar, and yeah, as I said, himself 2.5k in the pre-team of the year, which is nothing special. But it's more looking at this rise right here, 2.5, and he held for 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 days he held, which is a lot longer than the other players. Having peaks up here at 3.3 and 2.9 on PlayStation, which is decent. So again, another player who you could invest in even with the market being inflated. Not the best player, but a player for the sake of there being more players, and that is Raul Jimenez. Went up here to 2.8. Once again, you've got to remember that the other 83s were only going up to about 1.5 here, so up to 2.8, obviously with the Prem utility. Not too bad with the likes of Jimenez. And then we got Gosens. Obviously, Gosens has his Inter Milan card, but we'll use the Atlanta card because that was what was in packs. 2.6 there with the pre-team of the year, and then we move to March. And as I say, did go out of packs on the 2nd, so you do have to bear that in mind. But not bad though, 3.5, even I guess 2.8, and well, 2.2 is not that impressive, but 2.8 and 3.5 before he did go out of packs. What was quite interesting, as soon as he went out of packs, he actually dropped in price, potentially due to overinvestment, which again would make this price a little bit uneven. So do bear that in mind when investing in him, that a slight bit of this inflation may be due to the demand. But if you look at players like Lamar, it does make sense for Gosens to be that price. So I've thrown him in off of the back of a little bit of an educated guess. But do understand there are players that do back him actually being expensive. Again to João Felix. João Felix had a nice little rise right here. Held 2.9 and went even up there to 3.5. Wasn't out of pack sheet to man the matches or anything. Just again, because he's a centre forward, can be played as far back as the cam position. And obviously La Liga has FODDER galore. So yeah, really, really good. And if I go look at the likes of Angel Correa, obviously they offer very, very similar utility. But I think because he's a striker, what's he looking like? So he's 1k more, but what was his rises like? Yeah, so his rises were, I mean, slightly better, but, in terms of ROI, you'd get a lot more out of Felix than you would out of the likes of Correa. Plus, Correa would be a lot more risky at the moment. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have even risen much more in the pre-team of the year peaks. We'll end off here with Ocampos. Ocampos basically has the same sort of utility that Lamar does. Went up to 2.5k in the pre-team of the year, and then in March he held quite well here. 2.1, 2.1, 2.8, 1.8, 2k right there, and 2.7. So that is going to go and wrap it up. Now, sadly, these investments aren't really risk-free. Now, they're not looking back, because I mean, someone like Ocampos has actually held around about 1.2k for a while, so buying him at 1.4 isn't too bad. But yeah, sadly, these investments aren't risk-free, but I don't think you do have the opportunity of these investments being risk-free unless you're to gamble on no good content on Friday, which again would be gambling against the trends of the pre-team of the year. So, we are in a bit of an awkward position, which is why I'm not going to cover the expensive 83s and 84s, because I think the level of risk in that, you can go for that, and I probably will go for that myself. But just again, I've got literally 31 mil across the 4 accounts. Yes, is to max recommend it is probably a little bit risky. So I've shown you some really cheap alternatives you can go for. I'd say these players can do very well, as proven in times before. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has helped you guys a bit of investing. And any questions, drop them down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.